Hello, and welcome to Idioms and Phrases. Today we'll be going over idioms and phrases for mistakes and failures. Let's get started. Today we have 4 idioms and phrases. In the doghouse, asleep at the switch, fiddle while Rome burns, and out of the frying pan and into the fire. First, in the doghouse. Okay, in the doghouse, to be in trouble after making a mistake. I'm in the doghouse with my mom after I forgot to wash the dishes. This idiom is usually used between family members, and it's usually used for small mistakes, like in the example, not washing the dishes. It wouldn't be used for a big mistake like getting into a car accident. So this is only for small mistakes. This idiom comes from the literal idea of being in trouble and being sent outside to sleep in the doghouse. Have you ever been in the doghouse? I remember I forgot to clean the dishes after dinner one night, and I was in the doghouse with my mom. This was when I was about 13 or 14 years old. What about you? Okay, next. Asleep at the switch. To be not attentive or alert. This month's report is late. Someone must have been asleep at the switch. The customer was hurt when the boxes fell. The employee was asleep at the switch. So both of these examples show that a problem happened because someone was not paying attention. This phrase originally comes from railroads. The train drivers needed to pay attention so they could switch the tracks for the train at the right moment. If they were not paying attention, this could lead to a big mistake and even accidents. So now we use this phrase often when things are late or if something bad happens because people aren't paying attention. Now, usually this mistake or failure that it's used to describe is pretty important. Usually someone has been hurt or it's caused a big problem. So this one is used to describe bigger mistakes than in the doghouse. In the doghouse is for very small mistakes. Okay? So what kind of jobs would be dangerous if you were asleep at the switch? The one I think of is a doctor. That would be very dangerous. Okay, next idiom. Fiddle while Rome burns. To be occupied with trivial matters while ignoring disastrous events. The CEO was on vacation while his company was going bankrupt. It was so irresponsible, like fiddling while Rome burns. A fiddle is another name for a violin. This idiom is based on a popular story about an old Roman emperor literally playing the fiddle while Rome was burning. Now, it's unlikely that this story is actually true, but it is very popular, and this idiom is used to describe situations where leaders are doing something silly or trivial while something bad is happening. In the example, the CEO is on vacation, so he's having fun and spending money while his company goes bankrupt. To go bankrupt means you have no more money, so it's very irresponsible. So we describe situations like this with fiddling while Rome burns. To give an example, I am from Texas, and a few years ago, we had a politician go on vacation while people in the state had lost electricity. They had no electricity because of the cold. Many people even died in this accident. So, a politician being on vacation while his people are suffering is a situation where you would use fiddling while Rome burns. It's not for small, everyday mistakes, and it's really only used to talk about irresponsible leaders. So, can you think of an event in history that fits this idiom? Anytime maybe a president or a king was irresponsible? Okay, now for our last idiom. Out of the frying pan and into the fire. To go from a bad situation into a worse one. I quit my old job because it was stressful, but it has been out of the frying pan and into the fire at my new job. So for this idiom, being in a frying pan, in a pan, is not good, but it is even worse to be directly in a fire. That's why the idea is going from a bad situation into an even worse one. So in the example, her old job was stressful, but her new job must be more stressful because she uses out of the frying pan and into the fire to describe it. This phrase is often used to describe work, when work has gone from bad to even worse. Students might also use it to describe maybe doing homework was bad and stressful, but studying for the big end of year test is even worse. So it's out of the frying pan and into the fire. The mistake for this idiom is usually whatever mistake you make that takes you from the frying pan and into the fire. So in the example, the mistake is changing her job because she ended up with a worse job. Okay, so what can make a bad decision worse? What kind of decisions can make that worse? For example, maybe not thinking about a decision enough, just making a decision quickly because you're afraid or stressed. Okay, I'd love to know what you think. If you have any questions about the idioms we've gone over today, please put it in the comments. And that's all for today. Bye-bye.